All right, so you sent in some seriously fascinating research this time about AI. We're going to dive deep into the world of LLMs, those ChatGPT-like things, but with a twist. We're focusing on their efficiency. And trust me, the speed at which these things are changing is, well, mind-blowing.
Yeah, you're not kidding. The research you sent over actually highlights this concept called capacity density.
Capacity density.
It's basically how much brain power you can pack into each tiny little parameter of a model.
Okay, I'm kind of getting it. It's just like horsepower
Exactly, but for AI.
for AI. Got it. So that brings us to the Densing Law,
The Densing Law.
which sounds like, I don't know, something out of a sci-fi novel.
Right.
But this is real. This is happening right now based on real trends. And our mission today is to understand this law, what it means for the future of AI, and why this is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a paradigm shift, a real paradigm shift in how we think about, AI development. We're not just trying to make bigger models anymore. It's about making them leaner, meaner, and way more efficient.
More efficient. Okay, so get this. Figure 1 in this research shows that the capacity density of LLMs is basically doubling every 3.3 months.
3.3 months, that's fast.
Which means a model released today could achieve the same results as one from, like, just a few months ago, but using half the computing power.
Half the computing power.
It's insane.
It is.
It's like Moore's Law, but, like, on steroids.
That's a good way to put it. The comparison to Moore's Law is really insightful. But what's interesting here is that it's not just about hardware.
Okay.
This Densing Law thing, it's about the synergy
Right.
between, algorithm optimization and these advancements in hardware.
Okay.
So we're not just talking about faster chips, we're talking about like rethinking how we design and train these models.
Wow. So instead of these gigantic, power-hungry models that we see in, like, data centers,
Right, those huge ones.
are we heading towards a future where AI is on our phones,
Mhm.
and giving us answers, like, super fast? Party thinks, is this hype? Or is there evidence for this Densing Law revolution?
It's good to be skeptical. Always good to be skeptical. But the research, it does point to some concrete advancements, like inference costs. The cost of actually running a model, like let's say GPT 3.5, it's gone down. It's plummeted by like 266.7 times in just over a year.
Whoa, wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It is huge. And it's not just about saving money, it's about unlocking these possibilities that, we couldn't even think about before because of how expensive it was.
Right. And speaking of game changers, the research also suggests that the release of ChatGPT actually sped up this whole densing trend.
Oh, yeah. ChatGPT, big impact.
I'm curious, how did a chatbot, like, shake things up so much in AI efficiency?
Well, you see, ChatGPT's impact, it went way beyond just, casual chit-chat.
Right.
It was like a spark. It ignited all this investment, and it really spurred the release of more of these open source models. And this open source contribution, it's been key because it lets researchers build on each other's work, and that's what really accelerates things, these density improvements.
I see. It's like a domino effect.
Yeah, exactly.
ChatGPT starts the fire, and then everybody's trying to make these, leaner, more efficient models.
Yeah.
So, I'm wondering about the practical side of things.
Yeah.
Like, do techniques like pruning,
Burning.
where you essentially, trim the fat off a model, does that contribute to this whole increased density? I would think, smaller equals more efficient.
You'd think so, right?
Yeah.
It's a logical assumption. But surprisingly, pruning doesn't always mean higher density.
Really?
Yeah. The research shows that sometimes compressing a model actually makes it less dense.
Less dense.
Less dense. And it's probably because they're not training the smaller model enough,
So it's not just about making them smaller. It's about doing it in the right way.
Exactly. It's about strategy.
That's counterintuitive.
It is. It highlights a really important shift in how we think about this whole thing. It's not just about performance anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's about this balance between performance and density.
Performance and density.
We need to optimize for density from the get-go.
Not just try to squeeze it out later.
Exact.
So it's not just about how smart the model is, but how efficiently it uses that smartness.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Think of it as designing AI with sustainability in mind.
Like the green scaling law you mentioned before.
Exactly. It's about achieving those great results, but with the least amount of computational overhead. And it's crucial, especially as we're moving towards this, era of AI everywhere.
AI everywhere.
Everywhere.
Okay, so it's not just building the biggest, baddest AI. It's about creating something that's both powerful and sustainable. That's a whole different way of thinking about things.
It is. It really is.
So
And it's all happening so fast.
fast.
Yeah. What was cutting edge a few months ago? Well, it might already be old news. This research shows just how dynamic this landscape is. And you know what? Innovation, it's the only constant.
This whole densing law, it really makes you rethink things, doesn't it? We used to think bigger was always better. Like, you needed those huge models to make progress.
Right. The bigger the better. That was the thinking.
But now, size, it's not everything.
It's not. The Densing Law shows us that it's not just about how many parameters you have, it's how well you use them.
Right, right. Like having a giant library, but it's full of, like, dusty old books that nobody reads anymore.
Exactly. Versus a smaller collection, but with all the most important, insightful stuff.
So it's about quality over quantity.
Yes, exactly.
And that makes me think about accessibility. Because if you can get the same results with a smaller model, then you don't need a supercomputer, right?
You got it. This opens things up. Smaller research groups, startups, even just individuals, they can all get involved.
So the densing law is actually democratizing AI development.
You could say that, yeah.
Yeah.
More people, more ideas, more solutions.
That's pretty amazing. But it also makes me think, with all this power in smaller packages,
Yeah.
how do we make sure it's used responsibly? Does this make AI harder to control?
That's a big question. And it's something researchers are definitely looking at. As these models get more powerful, we need to make sure we understand them,
Right.
that we can control them. There's a lot of work being done on explainable AI, making these models more transparent.
So we can see how they're making decisions.
Exactly.
It's like a race then. We're pushing AI to be more capable, but also trying to keep up with understanding it.
A balancing act for sure. But it's essential. We want to encourage innovation. We want to see what AI can do, but we have to do it responsibly. The
Yeah.
Densing Law, it really highlights that need for a cautious approach.
Okay? Thinking practically now, this could have huge implications for, well, everything. Not just research,
Yeah.
healthcare, finance,
Oh, yeah. Everything.
transportation, even art and music.
Think about it. More efficient models running on everyday devices. That means we could see AI-powered tools everywhere. Doctors using AI assistants for diagnosis. Financial analysts predicting the markets.
Architects designing amazing buildings, musicians creating whole new genres. It's kind of mind-blowing.
It is. It's a really transformative time. The Densing Law is proof of just how fast things are moving. And honestly, we're just getting started.
It's exciting, but also a little scary. Like we're standing on the edge of something huge.
Definitely.
But we have to be realistic. What about jobs? A lot of people are worried about AI taking over.
That's a valid concern. Any new technology is going to cause some disruption. But if we look at history, we see these disruptions often lead to new things, new industries, new opportunities.
Like when cars were invented, people who made horse-drawn carriages, their jobs changed. But then all these new jobs appeared in manufacturing, repair, all sorts of things.
Exactly. The key is to adapt. We need to focus on education, giving people the skills they need to work in this AI-driven world.
Right, it's not about us versus them. It's about figuring out how humans and machines can work together.
That's it. AI is a tool, not a replacement.
A tool for augmentation. And it's not just jobs. Think about creativity. Writers using AI to come up with new stories. Artists pushing their boundaries.
That's right. The potential for AI to boost our creativity is huge. It's like having a partner, someone who can help you see things from a different angle, come up with new ideas.
Yeah, like when you're stuck, AI can help you break through that block.
And as these models get easier to use, more and more people will be able to express themselves creatively.
It's really an exciting time to be an artist, a musician, a writer, anything.
It is.
This Densing Law. We started out talking about efficiency, but it's led us to so much more.
It has. The future of work, what intelligence really means, even the nature of creativity.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has. The Densing Law, it's technical, sure, but it also says a lot about how we see the future, our hopes, our fears.
It feels like we're, I don't know, stepping into the unknown.
Yeah, a little bit.
This Densing Law, all these advancements, it's getting almost philosophical, wouldn't you say?
It really is. We're basically asking ourselves, what is intelligence? What is consciousness as we build these, incredibly dense, efficient systems?
It's like a new era of enlightenment, but driven by artificial minds.
Mm.
So what about the future of, like, jobs and creativity? Some people, they're worried about AI replacing us, but I see potential for, like, incredible collaboration.
It's important to see both sides, I think. Some jobs will be automated. That's inevitable. But we have to remember, technology always creates new things, new industries we can't even imagine right now.
Like, who could have predicted app developers or social media managers 100 years ago?
Exactly.
It's like that saying, we shape our tools, and then our tools shape us.
That's a good one. It's not about humans versus machines. It's about us working together.
To achieve something better.
Right.
And we have to adapt,
Yeah.
make sure people have the skills they need in this new world.
Absolutely. Education is key.
It's not about fearing AI. It's about figuring out how to use its power to, make ourselves better. And it's not just jobs. This has huge implications for creativity too, right?
Absolutely. Imagine architects using AI to design buildings that are, like, breathtaking. Writers working with AI to create stories that, I don't know, just grab you and don't let go.
It's like having a brainstorming partner who can explore every possibility.
Yeah, a million different directions.
Help you get unstuck.
And as these models become more accessible, more people will be able to create amazing things.
It's a pretty great time to be a creative person.
It really is.
We started talking about efficiency, this Densing Law, but it's taken us to so many different places.
It has. The future of work, intelligence, creativity, it's all connected.
And it shows how important it is to have these conversations, The more we understand, the better prepared we'll be for all these possibilities. The good and the maybe a little scary.
I agree. This is just the beginning. AI is moving so fast. This Densing Law, it shows that we're entering a new era of intelligence, artificial and human.
What a time to be
It
alive.
really is.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the Densing Law. Thank you so much for explaining all this. And to you, our listener, thanks for sending in this research. It was a great conversation starter. Keep those questions coming, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.